Hey everybody, we are week 2, day 3, looking at upper body strength today on Wednesday the 1st of April, I hope, if I've done the maths properly. So part A of this here workout, we are looking to do some push-up strength or some upper body strength as the title is suggested. We're going to do Flower, a song by Moby. You probably recognise it as Bring Sally Up and Bring Sally Down. My DJ here, Bub, say hello, Bub.
Hello, Bub.
It's going to hit play in a second, but if you can't get all the way through the song, you don't have to force it and get bad form and elbows flaring out. Just stop where you need to, shake it out, take a few seconds, you can go back in. But you can do push-ups off your knees and do them off your toes. I wouldn't recommend the Russians. But same as always, get the elbow pits turned forwards, spread the fingers. So you can get the index finger pointing forwards and the thumbs pointing inwards. At the bottom of your push-up, we ideally want your shoulders to be slightly ahead of the hands, ahead of the fingers. The forearm from the wrist to the elbow points straight up towards the ceiling. That's whether you're on your knees or on your toes. And you try and maintain that form all the way through, the elbows brushing the rib cage on the way down. So when you get your chest to the floor at the bottom, it's not just a case of laying down, although I might do that. It's a case of holding tension, holding your hollow, keeping your midline engaged, and making sure the shoulders aren't kind of coming round or flaring out. At the top, we can have that little bit of protraction, so the shoulder blades will slightly separate and push your upper back towards the ceiling. So it should look a little like this. Hold that position, squeeze butt cheeks. At the top, slightly rounded up the upper back. Hit play, Bub. Okay. The song goes a little bit like this. Bring Sally down, listen to the words. Bring Sally up, bring Sally down, listen to the crown. Bring Sally up, bring Sally down, listen to the crown. Bring Sally up, bring Sally down, listen to. You get the gist. Thank you, DJ Bub. It's about a 4-minute song, I think. Haven't done it for a while, so I can't remember.
3.5 minutes.
3.5 minutes, according to the boss. I'm done now. That's the workout. That's finished. Part B. Going to do something new here. I'm holding this up. You can probably see the workout in the description. We're going to do 15 down to 1. We have 3 movements. Sphinx push-ups, tuck jumps, and rows. have a good weight for my row. So I'm going to do 15 Sphinx push-ups, 15 tuck jumps, 15 rows of any variation. Not a rowing machine, as in like a weighted row, single arm row, double arm row. And then 14 of each, 13 of each, all the way down to 1 of each. It may take a while. You hiding? I'm out of breath. Bub's hiding behind the camera. So the row, whatever you've got available, so I've got some cans here. Some of you might have a dumbbell you've borrowed, a couple of kettlebells, sandbag, whatever it is. So you can kind of do a bent over row if you've got a bar or dumbbell rows, single arm, any row. If you have a small boy available, this is what I'm going to do. So nice and rigid. Imagine she's holding a plank or holding a hollow. There's an arm, there's a leg. I'm going to stand up first of all, strong deadlift. Bub maintains rigidity. Send my hips back. And there's my row. You're very welcome. To be honest, I'm not sure I've got 15, 14, 13 of them. That's the third movement. The second movement would be tuck jumps. Arm ahead on the light. Again, it's... Sorry?
I'm smaller.
Bub's smaller. It's not about jumping as high as you can. It's about bringing your knees up to your chest as fast as you can. So the height of her head may not be any higher. It's just about how high she can bring her knees up and tap her shins. Tap shins. Again. 3, 4, 5. She's got 15 of those to get through. And then 14, 13, 12. The first movement of those 3 is Sphinx push-ups. I've done them in reverse order because these are a bit more complex, so we'll go through them in more detail. If you get yourself into a plank position where your elbows are under the shoulders, obviously all this is going to be engaged as usual. Elbows under the shoulders, if not slightly in front. Hands face forwards, standard position, and I push myself up from there. Push. My hands are now way in front of me. They were anyway. Bring the elbows to the floor, drive out. You can do it from your knees, absolutely fine. All groovy. But make sure you get a proper full-on landing so that the forearm is flat against the floor when you're in there. So movement number 1, Sphinx push-ups. Movement number 2, tuck jumps. Movement number 3, the bub row. Cool. See how long that takes. Part C, we are not going to do for time. Part B, what we've just done, is for time. So work through it quickly, minimise your breaks. Part C now, 4 sets. Just take your time, quality. IYT movements, 15 of them. Then 8 dips, 15 V-sits, and 8 reverse flies. So the IYT movements will be laying face down on the floor. Squeeze your bum cheeks, draw the belly button in, rib cage down, but then slightly lift the chest off the floor, just a little bit. Keep the chin tucked, the eyes down, making the shape of an I, and then a Y, as in the letters, and then a T. That would be how many movements? 1, 2, 3. I go back to the I, 4, 5, 6. That's all going to happen face down, squeeze thighs, pointy toes, squeeze legs together, butt cheeks, the shoulders come back, of course they do, the chest slightly lifts, and then we go I position, Y position with the sofa in the way, and a T position. Should be at least thumbs up, if not slightly turned back. Always be thumbs up towards the ceiling. So there's the 15 movements. Bob, I need you again. Then have 8 dips. You can see why it's upper body strength. Had 2 versions of push-ups, some rowing, IYTs, now dips, a bit more tricep work. So Bob's there if you need a bit more of a challenge through your dip. So if I raise my feet up, it gives me a bit more weight to push. There's only 8 of them. So same as the push-ups, looking to keep everything tucked in, keep my shoulders out of my ears. Thank you. There's my little foot platform. I'm looking to keep my back as close to the sofa as possible as I lower my hips towards the floor. Can I get my shoulders level with my elbows? Just about. And then drive back through to a full lockout. Again with elbow pits turned forwards, not turned outwards or inwards. Locked forwards. Chest as high as we can get it. And then dip number 2. If needs be, you can add some weight, heavy backpack, onto your lap. If you haven't got a bub or a small boy available, good boy, then you can go straight legs, pointy toes. You can lift one leg off the floor. If we need to make it easier, we can bring them in, bring them in, bring them in. The closer you bring them in, the easier that movement becomes. So you've got 15 IYTs, 8 dips, V-sits. Bub, can you V-sit?
Not really.
She's going to try. So we go hollow hold to start with, so the shoulders come off the floor, nice and squeezed in here. And from that hollow position, and then back to hollow. Doing an absolutely brilliant job. The reason this is a brilliant job is because as she lays back down, her shoulders are still on the floor. She isn't just having a lie down. Have a lie down? That's a bad job. When you keep everything nice and tight and hollow, it's a very cool job. So 15 of those. If you can't go straight arm, straight leg, then bend them, go around the side, touch the ankles. And it's a bit of a scale. Reverse flies, last one. Oh, that's why these are here. It's not just for midnight snacks on the sofa. Be lovely, that, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
a nice tin of red kidney beans on the sofa at midnight. I was watching Old School. So I've got 2 tins in each hand. Honestly, this doesn't need to be very heavy because it's quite a challenging movement anyway. Done them many times in the gym, I'm sure you know them. Send the hips back. We're going to hinge as much as possible. Keep your knees directly above the ankles and really hinge as far as you can. Feel the hamstrings. And generally we'd have a slight bend in the elbow. Pull the shoulder blades down towards the bottom of the spine. And we open out to this position. Ever so slightly, rotating the cans out as we go through that movement. So they start facing forwards, and as I move, they're going to slightly rotate out. Looks like this. Bing! If the weight's a bit too light for you, don't have to slightly bend your elbow. Keep them locked out straight, it's cool. And if it's still a bit too light for you, then move slower. If it's still too light for you, hold and squeeze at the top. And then come back down, but don't come down all the way, about halfway. If you've got weight that's heavy enough, we'll just go for that standard slightly bent elbow, and we're going for full movement with control and no pauses. Woo! So it's 4 sets of that, 15 IYT movements, 8 dips, 15 V-sits and 8 reverse flies. That's it, week 2, day 3, 1st of April, upper body strength. Again, let us know how it scores. Part A not scored, part B for time, part C for quality. Good luck. So suitable warm up for today's session. Obviously there's a lot of upper body stuff, so we're going to start with the shoulders. We are going to look for arm circles, 1 arm at a time. We're going to go backwards, try and get that bicep nice and close to the ear. About 5 seconds before you change direction. And then the same on the other side, about 5 seconds backwards, 5 seconds forwards. They're going to have 20 claps, so try and find some posture, squeeze butt cheeks, tuck under, rib cage down, clap in front of the body, clap behind the body. 20 claps will do you. So what have we got next? Oh, shoulder taps, bit of stability work. So find your push-up position on the floor, the start of your push-up position anyway. Try and minimise movement in the body, so your feet might have to be a little bit wider than normal. And we're just going to tap the opposite shoulder. We're going to go for, how many reps have I decided that? 10. It's very generous, isn't it? 10 of them. Then actually 5 push-ups. So 5 from your toes, 5 from your knees, but adhering to all the decent movement standards we've kind of already set out. So toes or knees, 5 push-ups. Where are we going? Any clue? Hamstring walkouts. So we'll work down now towards the hips, the quads, hamstrings, glutes. Warm them up, ready for our tuck jumps and our rows. So send the hips back. Feel your hamstrings engage first. Try not just to kind of hit the floor with a means to an end to get out. Actually send the hips way back, feel the hamstrings, let them linger for a bit, and then we'll go to the floor. Keep your heels down as long as possible. Eventually they'll lift. Squeeze the butt cheeks, lift the chest, draw the shoulders back, and then we lift the hips. Chest goes back to thighs, an important part. So you can really find that overhead mobility, and then shoulder yourself back up to standing. Whew. That's proper hamstring walkout. So we need 3 of those, and our final movement is 10 squats with a knee raise. So a good standard squat, please. Make the knees track the toes, send the hips back as you come up. Knee goes to opposite elbow. That's our knee drive. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 for 10 reps. 2 rounds, that'll be our warm up. So you've got arm circles, 5, 5, 5, 5, 20 claps, front and back, 10 shoulder taps, 5 push-ups, 3 hamstring walkouts, and 10 squats with knee raise. Should be nice and warm, ready to crack on with some Moby.